And we're live. How about that? Hello, everybody. This is Jay Skinner, and you are in the Buyers and Sellers pre-show. I play a little bit of music here, waiting for everybody to get on. We're live every Friday morning at 10:35 Eastern Time. I actually come on a little bit earlier, but with the pre-show. 10:35 Eastern Time on the Buyers and Sellers show. Hi, everybody. I hope you're having a good day. I'm Jay Skinner, and you're on the pre-show for the Buyers and Sellers show. And we're going to talk about making money next year. I don't know what your situation is, but this is for people in lots of different situations. And hopefully you'll get some ideas of things to do. I'm so much about do things to do that will help you have a great year next year and pay the bills and then some. And I know there's people out there who they lost their job. For crying out loud, I've just heard on the news about companies that are doing some layoffs and things like that. You may be one of those people. You didn't really do anything to deserve it, and boom, there it's gone. Well, so you're thinking about things. This is a good show for you to be on. Give you some ideas, probably some encouragement on some routes to go. And, it's like how to think about this and then act upon it. Anyway, welcome. And we're live. I'm Jay Skinner, and you're on the Buyers and Sellers show. Here we go. Got people coming on already on board. Thank you very much for showing up. This is going to be a good day. I'm going to be running through a lot of information here quite quickly, really, but you can watch later. You can take screenshots. You can give me a telephone call, and I'll just put that up right now. If you want to get in touch with me somewhere along the line and ask more questions, here's how you can find me. There's my email, j@thejayskinner.com, THEJAY-Skinner.com, or call me at 317-922-7526. And then my website is thejayskinner.com. That's the best way. Get there, start clicking around. You'll find all sorts of cool stuff. So the idea today is, if you want to make some money next year, I know next year's just a few days away for us. Right now, this is being taped on the 30th of December, 2022. 30th of December, 2022. Can you believe it? Wow. Anyway, one of the things that you want to think about when we're talking, I'm just jumping right into this about making some money next year is first of all, what do you know or what can you do that people will pay for? And a lot of times that it comes from experience. Now, there's a book out there by a guy named Cal Newport, and it's so good they can't ignore you. And I just want you to know if you've heard that line before, that's actually was a line originally from Steve Martin, the comedian, talking about entertainers that you want to be so good they can't ignore you. But this book by Cal Newport is also titled this, and the idea is why skills trump passion in the quest for work you should love. And he's very hard hitting, and those of you that might come from the old "What color is your parachute" book days of thinking about how to find what you want to do, there's a lot of passion oriented, what you love, believing that somehow that's going to guide you into a financial successful business, and it just doesn't seem to always work that way. And in fact, more often than not, people that pursue their passion and what they just love, but they really don't have any financial basis for believing that that's going to generate an income, sometimes, well, in fact, often find themselves disappointed. And when you get into this book, the first part of it kind of builds that case and helps you understand it. So if you find yourself resisting this and thinking that what I'm talking is like a heresy, just listen, look at the book, think about it, and maybe you'll see what I learned there. Following your passion. It's pre-existing passions are rare, and they have little to do with how most people end up loving their work. So and not for everyone, but I will say many people will go for what they're passionate about, like basket weaving or pottery or art or music. I was a musician. I was passionate about music, still am. But that did not become my primary income source. Did I think about that? It could be. Yeah. Did it work out that it wouldn't be? Yeah. It's like it didn't take long. I was in my early 20s when I realized that for a whole host of reasons, full time professional musicianship was not going to get me what I needed. So, what I do? I went into business, went into sales, began to get jobs, expanded my horizons, got additional education, and great things happened. And, so I'm thankful for that. The, you know, some of you just want a regular job um, and a regular paycheck, and others, want to do something else. Many have been surprised and found themselves on the street here looking for work, and maybe you've gone after finding more jobs, or uh, you're thinking about doing a business and that's coming together or whatever. Um, we want to encourage you. And by the way, while we're in this, I see a lot of people are coming on, and this is fantastic. Um, but right here, I'm going to type in my website, www. Whoops, there we go. I'll type it in. Here we go. thejskinner.com. That's my website. You don't actually need that www and all, but just as a reminder, you can find me here. And if this popped up on your screen, that'll help you know where to type in if you have some comments. And we have a visitor right now, Mr. Doug Wing. Hello, happy New Year to you too, Doug. Thank you for coming. Doug is a good friend. He's been on the show probably more repeat times than anybody. And here's his newest book, The Giver. And I would encourage you to get on dougwing.com or go to Amazon or wherever you buy your books, and pick up that book. It is a great book about, really, it's fiction, but it's a true story kind of about his dad and his dad's business and how he was a giver and how all that worked together. But it's done in a way that's really fun and easy to understand and interesting. So, Doug, good to see you. Encourage you to jump in there, and you're welcome, Doug. with comments as we go along on this road here. But what I try to do is more than just encourage you to have a great positive mindset and believe things can happen, which is incredibly important. I want to give you some to do things while you're reorganizing here, and trying to move into the new year and make some headway. That's just what people do. So, one thing is I need you to write down what you've done in the past that, people paid you to do. It's like, I used to mow lawns. I went in, cleaned a house. I painted a house inside and out. I fixed somebody's car. I did computer work. How about I walked into somebody's thing and I straightened out their sales program, helped them do this or that. I mean, what are these things that people in the past have paid you to do? Just think about that. How did that feel? If it coincides with something you're passionate with and you think is awesome, then great. But more, I will tell you, and this is what I learned when I read that book and I look back on my own life, you tend to get passionate about the things people pay you to do and you are rewarded for. So you may go into something, a field that you like didn't really know anything about. And within a couple years, you're making good money. You're really good at it. You found something new you can do. And they say, you're really passionate about your career and what you're doing. And you had to say, I am. And where'd that come from? Well, they paid me to do it. And it's like, holy cow, I'm good at this. And that reward grows with your enthusiasm and cool things happen. Now, just think about it. I ended up with a 30-year run, which is continuing over 30 years in plastic pallet design, build, and sales. But I didn't grow up when I was 7 years old and say, man, when I grow up, I want to sell plastic pallets. I didn't even know what a plastic pallet is. Maybe you don't either. It's like a wooden pallet that they move around with forklifts in a plant, in a factory, but it's made out of plastic. And I did super heavy duty ones, specially designed for industry, still do. Well, I'm passionate about that. I think it's awesome. I can tell you all sorts of good things about it, but day one, I didn't know anything about it, but I thought, well, that's interesting. So could you do it some more if more people knew about your gift, skill, talent? Then yeah. So you think about what people have paid you to do, and it's like, I do this pretty good. Why don't you just get the word out? Get the word out. What are you doing now that you like and want to do for more money? See? Now, as part of all this, I want you to think about what your nut is in terms of the nut to crack in terms of your financial commitment. It's all good and well if you say, man, I've been chopping wood here for people and I made $50 last week. Well, that's great, unless you need to make $1,000 in order to pay the bills. What I want you to do is think about what your real nut to crack is. And so that'll give you some sort of an idea of what you need to make. And maybe you can translate that into how many jobs or how many sales or how many cabinets you need to build in order to make the kind of money that you need to make. That will help create perspective for you. If you just kind of jump in, start doing it, don't really know what you need to. Have you heard that this came from Zig Ziglar, I believe, says it's far better to be a meaningful specific than a wandering generality. And writing down that goal and understanding what kind of financial nut is you need to crack. Let's say you need to make right now, just to kind of pay the bills, you need to make $500 a week. And every time you sell something, you make $100. Well, it's easy to say, I need to make 5 sales every week. Now you've got a goal. Now, what's it take to do that? Well, you got to get the word out. I go back to this, and right here in the bottom it says, get the word out. Okay. And so you know how many cabinets you need to build, how many sales you need to make, how many, whatever it is. You write it down, you think about it specifically, and then you got to put one foot in front of the other toward the goal each day, multiple times a day. Now, I got to tell you that when you're in business for yourself, then you're the sales department too. And if that's kind of a revelation to you, Just accept it. Just accept it. Sales and marketing, which I put together, is about getting the word out to probable buyers, which, the technical word might be qualified prospects. People can use what you're doing, might buy it in a way that they're interested to engage with you professionally, to buy or use your products or services. You put my name next to that. I wrote that. Sales marketing, call it smarketing, is getting the word out to probable buyers, qualified prospects, in a way that they are interested to engage with you professionally, to buy or use your products or services. And it doesn't make any difference what you are when you're in business for yourself, you're in sales. Quite frankly, when you're working for someone else, I think you're in sales too. Everywhere you go, you've got to somehow be able to promote what you're doing and do it well in such a way that people recognize that. And in the case of the person paying you to do that, you're selling your services to him or her, so they'll pay you every week that regular salary. Being in business for yourself, it's a different set of skills and disciplines that you need to have in return for the freedom and flexible income potential of being in business for yourself. And I'm going to encourage you right here, and this, I'm going to stay on this screen for a minute so you can see these links. But if you just go to YouTube and you look at Jay Skinner, then you'll find the two shows I did with Eli, my son. Here's a picture. If you're looking through the pictures, you'll see these in two different places, at least, where Eli and I did work. And the first one that we did together was where, there we go, was where he really ended up into the personal aspects of going. You say you want to be in business for yourself, and all of a sudden, as he went into it, some of the issues that he had going into it and revelations that he had that'd be very valuable. And then the second show we did together were very practical things. He's in the real estate business, and I can tell you that they apply to everything that you do, the sort of stuff that he does in order to be successful. So I would encourage you to watch Eli, who stepped out, went into business for himself, and experienced many of the things that you do, and you will if you decide to do that. Now we got some comments here. There's John Godwin. Hey, John, welcome. Let's see what John has to say. He says, "Hey, Jay, I have a long list of to-dos for next year, of which you've helped align. Great. I'm a cinematographer, videographer, photographer, editor through and through. I just invested more in my profession with a new 2K, 4K, 8K cinema camera." Wow. How cool is that, John? And I would say John's been doing this for a long time, and he just keeps getting better. And he's one of the pioneers in this industry. So was doing stuff many, many years ago when other people weren't, in terms of helping salespeople, like the Gittimers, for instance, put their studios and things together and do their original videos. So, John, so happy you're here, and congratulations. Hey, Sharon. Sharon's one of those people that's gone into business for herself, and she's been regularly going live for many, many days, and that's part of her commitment for years of going live every day with her business. And you can find her at SharonHoffmeister.com. Hey, Sharon, good to see you. So now let's keep moving here. If you don't want to be in business for yourself, but you just want to find a job where someone pays you for a 40-hour week, that's honorable. Hey, look, I did that for 30 years. It's like, that's just the truth. So what happens? Okay, got some more comments. And Sharon has done her lives for 1,178 days consecutively, didn't miss a day for her business. Congratulations, Sharon. I mean, that includes Christmas, everything. Sharon, this is awesome. Get to know Sharon. So if you're just looking for, I say, a regular job where someone else pays you, that doesn't mean you don't have responsibility and you're not going to have to sell yourself and be awesome at it. You got to. But let's think about that. Finding a job. Well, what's that mean? Your new job is the job. It's like when you're finding a job, that becomes a job. I don't know how to say that, but I see so often someone says, "Well, where I'm looking for a job," but they're spending a lot of time in front of the TV. Uh, Maybe they check their emails every, once a day. Um, their phone rings, maybe, um, but it's a very part time looking for a job situation. And I will tell you that if you're looking for a job and you're wanting the kind of job where someone hires you and they pay you so much every couple of weeks, and you have benefits and that sort of thing, um, that's your full time job is finding that. And so here are some of the things that you need to think about. One is social media posts. Get the word out. Neighborhood, Facebook, LinkedIn. Okay, we just keep going and going and going. It's not embarrassing to be without work. It's embarrassing if you're out of a job and you're saying you're looking for work, but you're not doing anything. That's embarrassing. So be out there, spending every day, I say 7 to 10 hours each day in pursuit of that goal. If you put that kind of time in, looking for your job, it's like figuring out new ways to expose yourself to potential buyers, potential employers. Good things are bound to happen. And don't forget networking. That means going places where people are hanging out that might potentially hire you or know someone else that would want you. And you do that too. You don't do that 100% of the time. Don't go out networking every single night every week and think you did your job. Just incorporate that in part of it. Connecting with and actively checking all the employment boards. Now think about that. What am I talking about? Things like ZipRecruiter and Indeed and Monster and LinkedIn. LinkedIn's got lots of jobs. Lots of people find work there. Sign up on all of them with a professional email and a picture that looks nice. It's like, make sure your email is not like I am a mess at gmail.com. If you don't have just a regular email with your name at Gmail or something like that, or your name and some numbers or something that seems somewhat professional, then get one. Go to Gmail, go to Google and get one, or go to AOL. I think you can still get them over there. Don't do AOL. That just makes a conversation you don't need. Gmail, Yahoo, even Gmail, just go to Gmail. How about that? Just go to Gmail, get a new address that's more professional, and then make sure you got a picture that's good, and then a resume. And if you don't know how to do a resume, just type in here, and you'll find some resume writers and things. You get into Word, there's ways that it'll set you up with a resume there, and you can almost fill in the blanks to do a nice resume. But there's plenty of places to get resumes. Even on sites like Indeed, they have like resume writers and things that once you do them online with that, you can capture that information and put it in a Word document, and away you go. Let's see what we got here. Hey, there's Tom Bogoski. Hey, Tom, good to see you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Good. Glad you're here, Tom. The other thing is this. Be sure you're getting all the notifications. I will tell you that I've been in a position to hire people over the years, many, many, many times. And a lot of times I was on Monster or LinkedIn or Indeed or all these different ones as an employer looking for potential employees. And they have systems in there for communicating messages and things and contacting. You see something you like, you send them a little note. And it's like, I sent them a note and they never get back with me for days, maybe never. It's like, make sure you're getting notified that people are looking at your profile and these different, employment boards. And so when someone shows interest, you respond immediately. It's like, hey, this guy's right on top of it. In many cases, now you should know this too. And this is like, if you know just exactly what's interesting to you, then go find the businesses that do that and literally walk in the door and see if you could get 5 minutes with the owner. That's it. Just walk in the door. Hey, my name's Jay. I do such and such. And don't say, are you hiring? Don't say, are you hiring? You don't care whether they're hiring or not. You want to find out if they'd be interested in you. And the way that happens is you meet the owner and they say, oh, this is a nice person. And Now they don't have to put anything up on the job board because the right guy just walked in or the right gal. Okay, here's some additional comments. Good. I love it when people are talking. Sweden checking in. Thomas Ackermark, good to see you. Welcome from Sweden. I'm glad you're here, Thomas. Great. Anyway, you want to be sure that you're actively involved in this pursuit of a new job like it's a job and you're on top of it. Go into preferences when you're setting yourself up. You see, if you just attack stuff lightly and just skip over the surface, you miss all the cool things in these employment services like Indeed that can all help you get the word out. So please be sure that you have a great email, you got a decent picture, you got a resume that's short and to the point that you can post up, and you fill in the blanks and spend time on each of those profiles and then put it out there and let things happen. Make yourself available. Don't be funny about putting in your telephone number. It's like, put your cell phone number in there so they can call you, for crying out loud. It's like, well, I literally have had people say, well, I don't know if I want to put my cell phone number in there. Like they're afraid someone's going to call them that they don't want to talk to. Look, if someone calls you from an unknown telephone number, then pick it up and say hi. And if you just can't stand it, let it go to voicemail. Immediately check your voicemail and call them back. But if you got your name out there on bulletin boards about employment, I'd start picking it up. And if it's a scam call, just, sorry, boom, hang up. That's all you got to do. And you can block those numbers. Let's see, we got some other people here. Oh, Tom, thank you. Yeah, weedsmoker69@yahoo.com. That's not going to work. That's right. Please. It's like, I have seen too many emails when I was hiring that would tell me so much about the person I'm going to talk to. It's like, oh, I don't even have to make this call because that's so inappropriate. And it's like, that's the thing is like, are the people telegraphing to you things that you don't want in your business? And it's like, so make sure that your email and your picture and your presentation accurately reflects what you want them to see and how you want to present yourself out there. And I mean, if you got a silly email from 20 years ago when you're, not as smart as you were today or are today, change it. Absolutely. Okay, good. Love the comments. Anybody else have any comments about hiring and what to do to make stuff happen? Here's my final word to you. It's not okay to say, well, I've been looking for a job for the last 4 months. It's like, what? Come on now. Take something, do something. Because after 4 months, and I'm talking to you as a potential employer, and all I can glean from you is you've been sitting on your rear, checking your emails once a day and watching Oprah or whatever else is on TV. And it's like, oh my gosh, lack of motivation. That's not going to be very impressive. Okay. So if that's where you are, where you've been, then go back to number one. Let's see. Let's go back to the one I was really telling you. Maybe we should read it together. Finding that job is your new job. That means 7 to 10 hours each day in pursuit of that goal, using social media posts, interviews, connected with and actively checking all the employment boards like, here's examples, ZipRecruiter, Indeed, Monster, LinkedIn. Sign up on all of them with a professional email and picture. And get out there. Now, the other thing that I really think doesn't cost you a nickel to do, and this could easily be your 7 to 10 hours a day, you could do this every day like Sharon does, is get online and do a live. If you go to StreamYard.com, that's StreamYard.com, and I'm going to write that down right here. I'm going to make a banner so you can see it. StreamYard.com. There we go. They have a free version. And you can do what I'm doing here and have some banners and go live every day talking about whatever is important to you. How about that? And you can buy a paid version, expand your reach all over the world, like I've done on way multiple platforms and everything. But you don't have to buy the paid version to just go live on LinkedIn. Just get on LinkedIn, request the go live credentials, which is now more than ever people are doing it, or go live on Facebook and just get the word out there and then advertise it. And I like Nextdoor. I'll tell you what, the neighborhood, I like Nextdoor. That's a good neighborhood place to let people know you're looking for a job or let them know what you do for money when you're in business for yourself. Okay, well, everyone, what can I say except for thank you for coming. You are, and by the way, if you have any final comments, it's a good time to write them in because there's a delay here and I don't see them for about 10 or 15 seconds at least after you type them. But if this is the year that maybe things fell apart, you got that notice like those tens of thousands, maybe more of people that lost their jobs for no good reason. And now you're trying to figure out what to do. Let me be an encouragement to you. Good things can happen. Follow these disciplines we talked about here, and that's only going to be to your benefit, I promise you. And if you want to talk to me more about it or give me a call or something, there's my information. Please call me. Let's see, there's another comment. And Sharon says, Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you too, Sharon. Glad you came. So everyone, this has been the Buyers and Sellers Show. Please get out there, make it happen, find that job, start that business, make it happen, make some money, put one foot in front of another. It may start out slow, probably will, but do something. It's like you make 5 and then it becomes 10 and then it becomes 50 and then it becomes 100 and then it becomes 500, then it becomes 1,000 and you go, holy cow. You look over there and say, hey, honey, look, I made $1,000 in my own business, doing whatever it is I do. Or it's like, I got a new job and they're paying me. It's good stuff. And I'm getting to do what I know and love. If it intersects with your passion, great. But I will tell you, if it doesn't, it will quite likely become your new passion as you find success and you learn something new. Great things are going to happen. I'm Jay Skinner. You're with the Buyers and Sellers Show. See you next Friday, 10:35 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So glad you came. See you next week, and thank you for coming. Bye now.